I've been working in web media for so long that I've lost my barometer on what's okay to send at work. And someday I want to work in children's publishing, and I'm just kind of nervous that I'm going to be like, all right, so Sheila, I sent in the copy edits on Princess and the Pony. The acknowledgements are all set, and did you see that new video? The kid who had sex with the Hot Pocket made a sequel, so I sent it to everyone. Everyone's going to want to see that. When I first started working at BuzzFeed, my mother would tell me, she'd be like, oh, I saw your third grade teacher in the supermarket, and I told her how to look up all your stuff that you're writing. She's so proud of you. And I'd have nightmares for weeks of Miss Zemko looking at her computer. She's like, Molly H., I'm so disappointed in you. You used the wrong your. That should be Y-O-U''RE are really going to love these 19 pictures of men wearing vagina costumes. It's grammar 101. I take back all your scratch and sniff stickers. You do not deserve them. You don't deserve them at all. It's really weird to think about sometime that the class that contributed the most to my current career is my middle school computer class. Because that was taught by a woman who the last time she took a computer class was when they took up the whole room and Benedict Cumberbatch was training them to win World War II. So a while ago, and she got up there in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds who had gotten through the child-proof firewall in like 10 minutes and was like, all right, so this year we're gonna learn Microsoft Word. So that's what we did for 15 minutes, and then for 3 years we learned a lot about Neopets. I'm only a little bit sure I know what an atom is, but I know the ins and outs of the economy of Neotopia just like the back of my hand. I also spent a lot of time in computer class watching music videos. I became slightly obsessed after I saw a bunch of my guy friends, guys that I had grown up with a long time, have their kind of sexual awakening watching a Shakira video. These were guys I had known forever, and I'd never seen them still for long, and they were just transfixed. And I don't know if you remember this video, but the young woman, Shakira, she dances in a pool of mud, I want to say. And I remember sitting there going, oh, if this is what boys like, I am in trouble. That is unsanitary as hell. You know, you think she's aesthetically as pleasing now, boys, but wait till she has a bacterial infection. Not so sexy then, Shakira. Not so sexy then. No, but super gross. I don't know, do any of you guys here watch The Bachelor? You should. It's a terrible show. It makes me very angry in a way that other reality shows don't. Like, if you want to eat a bunch of bugs, you do you. I dip my carrots in ketchup. I'm not going to judge. But I really love stories, and it's just, The Bachelor is also, I don't know if you know this, it's the only time after elementary school that you will be referred to by your last initial. You know, just Gen M and Gen B, and it just becomes like a very sad math equation. Like, Ben R has 10 flowers. 12 girls want flowers. If Ben gives 10 girls the flowers, how many girls will have to console themselves with a slight uptick in Instagram followers? It's very sad. If you do want a great love story that's on TV right now, I suggest Outlander. Wonderful program about a woman who travels through time from the 40s to the 1700s, and she gives up indoor plumbing for the man she loves, which is the greatest form of love. It's also a book series, and it's a very romantic book series. I like that, but sometimes the romance of the sex scenes is a little undercut for me by what they had to deal with and what they didn't have back then. It'll just be, you know, chapter would be like, after he held me in his arms, and he said, it's 4 o'clock, I must go. I must milk the cows, tend to the bees, clean my musket, which is the only thing from keeping bears from devouring our whole family. And she's like, all right, my love, in 200 years, women will be able to vote. And the smell of him stayed on me all day and all week, because we only got a bath once a week. My dad is very preoccupied with the lack of hygiene in period movies. He does not care about what is happening in the movie when he talks about that. I'll be watching the end of Moulin Rouge. Satine will be dying in her lover's arms, and he'll just pop up out of nowhere and be like, they didn't use deodorant then. Do you know how bad she smells? She smells so bad right now. They're like, that's not the point, Dad. She's having a moment here. They don't really care about that. I found after working on different websites on the internet for so long, a certain kind of headline doesn't work on me anymore. And it's Girl Scout gives man the wrong box of cookies. You won't believe what happens next. Man finds out he's been calling his coworker the wrong name for 7 years. You won't believe what happens next. Yes, I will. I will believe it. The internet has completely destroyed any sense of, surprise on my part. I remember when the Ice Bucket Challenge started getting really popular, which that was great, but it made me realize people weren't aware of other things that were going on the internet that weren't so great. They were just like, it's crazy. It's crazy. They're getting wet and cold at the same time. It's captured on camera. It's crazy. I'm like, teenagers have been snorting condoms up their nose on camera for years. Years, this is what happens. This is not crazy. I was scrolling through Twitter one day and I read a headline that was Susan Sarandon supports cannibals. And I kept scrolling, I shrugged, I kept scrolling. I later realized that it was not cannibals, it was Susan Sarandon supports cannabis. It makes more sense. But what's troubling is I read that and said, prominent actress publicly voices her support for people eating people. I didn't even think to email my editor and be like, there might be something here. There might be something here. I'm not sure. When I was a kid, my parents kept a pretty tight rein on what I was and was not allowed to watch. In middle school, all my friends loved Seventh Heaven. I was not allowed to watch Seventh Heaven because my mother had heard there was sex and drugs in it. Very bad. It's kind of like if someone heard that in the Bible some people didn't like Jesus and they were like, no, not doing that. It's all about context, and I started watching Seventh Heaven in high school, and it is the reason that it wasn't until I was 17 that I realized that pot does not have the exact same health consequences as crystal meth. I'm like, they're the same. Based on Reverend Camden's reaction, they are the same thing. So Seventh Heaven is a parental win, just in general. I didn't like middle school, like all humans, and not to brag or anything, but I was Life Skills Student of the Month twice. Life skills didn't actually teach life skills, as anyone who knows how many pens and tubes of lip gloss go into every load of wash I do would suspect. Didn't learn life skills. It was the name for our combo drugs and sex class. The drugs portion of it was more detailed than any other class that I took in that school. Like, we ran out of time at the end of 8th grade in U.S. history, so they just showed us without comment the Patriot. They're like, here you go. Revolutionary War. But by the end of 7th grade, I knew every street name for heroin and cocaine, organized by decade and region. Like, I was all set. I also knew how to huff Pam with or without a paper bag, because you never know what tools you're going to have at hand.